The review that we're doing tonight is called Out of Omaha. It's a documentary by a set of twins named Darcell and Darrell, aka Rell, Trotter. And they did a documentary, and a documentary is basically a span of 8 years of their life from the time they were like 19-ish to like 24, 25-ish, something like that. It's like 8 years of their life. And the documentary just came out last year in 2018. It first appeared in New York, then it appeared at different movie theaters, and then Stars picked it up. The TV station Stars picked it up. Now you know it's good if Stars picked it up,
right?
And that is local from Omaha.
I was just surprised that J. Cole had produced it.
Thank you.
How did they hook up with him to get him to produce?
I'm telling you, when I was watching it, I was like, when I kept hearing produced by J. Cole in the previews, I was like, hold up, they talking about J. Cole, J. Cole. First off, I want you to let me know what you thought about the movie. Well, it was documentary.
The documentary, I thought it was interesting. It was sad in a lot of spots.
Mm-hmm.
The disparity, just right from the beginning, you see how these boys basically raised themselves,
mm-hmm.
and then they are taking what should be their time to grow and be planning out their futures, and they're so worried about trying to keep the lights on, trying to keep some food in the refrigerator.
Mm-hmm.
And then they weren't even staying with their parents and trying to help them pay bills too.
Right.
And I'm like, that is such a heavy burden to put on a teenage child.
Mm-hmm. It really is. And but the way that they kept pushing, mm-hmm. and they kept, I mean, they tried, they had a dream. Like Darcell in particular. Their stepmom, Barbara,
yeah,
she had mentioned how the boys were kind of like, you know, it included her son, their stepbrother, Charles. They were kind of like born into gangs because their father was well known in these streets of Omaha as, you know, being in the gangs, being a drug dealer, a hustler. So when you have children born to parents like that, it's like,
what else? What do you expect them to learn?
Right.
If you're not teaching them morals and values, what do you expect them to learn?
Mm-hmm.
You know, they learn by what they see. And if that's all you have them around, then that's what they're going to do. That's what they're going to know.
Exactly.
And, you know, you have to take it upon yourself. But I give those boys credit.
Mm-hmm.
As they got older, they realized it was on them to change their circumstances.
Yeah.
They couldn't wait for somebody else to do for them to make their life better. They went out and got it for themselves.
Exactly. And I know, like, in the beginning of the documentary, they were, you know, speaking with Darcell, and he was kind of like telling his story of how he grew up. And he was telling his story of how he had graduated from high school. He had hooked up with Avenue Scholars, you know, which is Avenue Scholars, by the way. Both of my sons was in Avenue Scholars. So it's a really great program. They help you get scholarships. They help you with applications. They help you with, I mean, all kind of stuff. And he had got into UNO. But once he had got into UNO, which is a really nice school here in Omaha, things started like getting worse with his family. Like his mom started. The mom, the bills it was just like the bills. Remember, their father had left. He had moved to Grand Island. And I've been a single parent.
Hey, still,
we know how how it is. The struggle is real,
very real
for a lot of people, but definitely for single parents, the struggle is really real. So when he had mentioned how his father had moved to Grand Island, and the two boys, they felt like a lot of kids feel, in these kind of circumstances, in these situations where they're like, well, what can I do to take some stress off of my mom's back?
Right.
Hustle.
You went out trying to hustle.
Go out and hustle. So one thing I hated was how he was in school and it seemed like he was doing okay. But then it's like, I don't know. I kind of understand what his mom was saying when she was like, I don't want you to leave. I don't want you to leave. I don't want you to leave. Like when you're a single parent and you have children, boys, and they end up leaving and they're like the man of the house.
I think she was
you kind of feel a certain way.
Him.
Like, yeah.
And unfairly, she made him the man, basically the man in her life.
Mm-hmm.
And that shouldn't have, and it happens.
But we do that all the time.
We do.
We tell our child if they 8, 9, 12, you the man of the house. And we put this pressure on these boys at a very young age. And they like, man of the house.
Right.
Okay, if I'm the man of the house, what am I supposed to do? I see mama can't pay all the bills.
Right.
We need food. What would the man of the house do?
And that
can't get a job.
Added stress and strain on them that they shouldn't even have at that age. Mm-hmm. And unfairly, it's unfair to them. And it's unfair to us, too, that we have to go through this. But it's not, this onus should never be on these kids.
Right. But in this situation where these boys were their mom, because she was a single parent, her name was Yolanda, and she was having a hard time. And so I think she kind of put a little pressure on him because remember his Avenue Scholars, what's it? Yano.
That's my classmate.
Yano, cool as heck. Yano Jones. He told him, okay, so your mom wants you to stay home instead of moving into the dorms at UNO.
He was like, what's wrong with you?
He was like, he's like, why you can't move into the dorms? He said, because my mom wants me to stay home. And he was like, but hold up. Is this about you? Or is this about your mom? Is this your life?
Right.
Or is this your mama's life?
Because at some point, you have to make the mother responsible for the choices she made in her life.
And let them kids.
And unfortunately, like you said, stuff happens. And how do I want to say this?
Take your time. Take your time.
These are your kids. Mm-hmm. That's not his responsibility.
Right.
These are your kids. And he did.
He did.
And I think it was more of the fact that he didn't want them struggling and going through and raising themselves like he and his brother did. Yeah. And I can understand that, and that's commendable. But baby, this is your life. This is your time to forge your own future.
Yeah. That's true.
To think about yourself.
That's true.
But I appreciate going back to the Avenue Scholars is that it's not a last chance kind of program. It's a second chance. It gives you, they understand. People make mistakes. People have lives. Stuff happens. Okay, let's fix it and let's move on from there.
Right.
We're gonna keep going.
Right.
And unfortunately, with this story, he ended up going to jail.
I was so like,
and he was looking at some serious
time. He was looking at serious time. Didn't they say like?
And by that time, his brother had done moved.
His brother moved to Grand Island
with the dad.
Exactly. Now the thing about it was, what I really liked though was when he did get involved, and that was off of I think that was off of 55th and where did that happen? The where they had he claims he claims that he was at the house. This is Darcell we're talking about.
50-50 spread or something.
Yeah, like Pinckney or something like that. And he claimed he was there. And he remembers, people coming in and people saying, where the money at? And somebody said they ain't got no money. And then somebody threw the first punch and, all hell broke loose. And he said, I knew immediately to get the heck out of Dodge because he was and he was like, he just knew that he could jeopardize his scholarship, his career, his family, his life, his everything would be affected by that. So he bounced. But people still believe that he had something to do with it, and so he was charged. Because, they said it was a robbery and assault, because the people who came into the house, they started fighting the people who was in the house. And one thing I did like about that was Revenue Scholars, they had hit him up and called him and told him, we can help you with the down payment because the lawyer only wanted $1,000. And they said, we can help you with the $1,000. So he was able to secure the lawyer. You know what? Did you watch the Central Park 5?
Girl.
You probably didn't.
Yes, I did.
You did? Okay.
Oh, yes, I did.
Good. Okay. The things that she was telling him reminded me, it took me back to the Central Park 5, how she was saying, when you go in there, they're going to promise you this. They're going to promise you this. They're going to promise you that. They're going to tell you they're going to talk to the DA. They're going to tell you they're going to talk to the prosecutor. They're going to tell you this. They're going to tell you that for you to do this and that and that, that. And she said, and they ain't going to stand up for their promises. She was like, most of the time, they do not keep their promises. So you might be like, oh, that's a lawyer. They're supposed to tell you that stuff. But come on now. In history, it don't always work out that way. You get these lawyers who just in it for the money. They don't really care if you did the crime, if you didn't do the crime. They don't care if you go to jail, if you don't go to jail. They don't care. She was straight up forward with him and told him the real deal. Like some people should have told those kids in the Central Park 5. So he ended up not snitching, not saying nothing. He didn't say nothing. He didn't confess.
We want to talk about that snitching culture.
He didn't say nothing. And it was like he ended up getting off. He pleaded for he confessed, or it got down to a misdemeanor, and they basically released him.
I was really surprised and proud of Rell by when he moved to
Grand Island for a different different atmosphere,
a different life, a different chance at life,
surroundings,
and because he wasn't surrounded by the trappings of Omaha and all of the BS you can get involved in. He became a stand-up man.
Yes,
he found a job, and he literally worked his way from the bottom
all the way up
to the top.
He started off. He was working a salvage outlet, which is basically like a secondhand store, like a Goodwill appliance, not a Goodwill, but like an appliance store who sells, secondhand appliances or furniture. He started from the bottom,
literally the bottom,
moving furniture, loading, unloading, and worked his all the way up to head manager. And I really like, as far as he goes, Rell, it was kind of like when Darcell went to jail and he turned himself in for that crime. One might think, that's your twin, your bro, he just bounced while you in jail, moved out of town. Because you know how it is with twins.
Yeah, they have a connection.
They have a connection. They super
close. They definitely have a connection.
And Darcell claimed, that's my best friend. That's my BFF. Just like most twins, they best friends. He had mentioned how they whatever one did, the other one did. Regardless if it was hustling
Right.
You know, they did the same thing. Whatever one felt, the other one felt. So for his brother to bounce out to Grand Island, I took it as he saw, you know, where
he saw where the road was going.
Right. He saw where his life could go. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm just saying, he seen where the road was going and decided, you know what, I'm gonna make a left turn here. This is not gonna happen to me. I'm not going to fail in life. Yeah. I'm not going to be caught up in gang activity, in the drug culture, in, you know, the jail life. I don't want that for myself. Right.
But you know what? What kind of, I was like, I was pissed. Okay.
When
the father, I was like, hold up, wait a minute. Now, Rell, he had moved to Grand Island when Darcell was going through this with the courts. And eventually, when Darcell got off, you know, it got reduced to a misdemeanor. They dropped, you know, they let him out immediately. And he decided, well, dang, maybe I need to move to Grand Island with my brother and, you know, get away from all this negativity, the gang banging, the drug dealing, and all that kind of stuff.
They was out there like 3 months.
They was out there like 3 months living with their father because their father had, you know, moved out there. And they haven't seen their father before that. And like, I think he said like once in like 6 months. So they wasn't really seeing their father on a regular basis. And mind you, Grand Island is only 2 hours away. For y'all who don't know where Grand Island is and live in Omaha, I was there this past summer because I have a relative who lives out there. And it is true what they say. It's like 2% Black people who live in Grand Island. Now, I'm not going to go into the story of what happened when we went there. But if you go all the way back into my videos about 4 months ago, man. Anyway, it was a hot mess. People went to jail. My family members. It was a hot mess. So anyway. So it's only 2% population of Black people out there, and so Darcell moved out there. He was like, okay, my bro out there, my twin out there with dad. I'm gonna move out there. He was there 3 months. And then
they like went to work and came home, and the daddy had packed up and left, gone out of town.
He was gone,
moved.
I was like, no,
I couldn't believe that.
I'm like, you left your kid, like your kids moved out here to stay with you,
to be with you,
and you just one day just packed all your stuff. And then the thing about it, what hurt so bad, I think, for Darcell is because, and it kind of like hit me like, that hurts. Like, because he had, you know, said he had forgave his dad. He had talked to his dad. He had kind of got to know his dad. His dad told him his story, you know, the gang bang life, the drug dealing life, the drug abuse life, and he was like, you know, his dad was giving him advice and all this kind of stuff. Like,
they were building a relationship.
Right, they were building a relationship, and then you just come home and he's gone, like moved out of state. And you and your it's like, and it's your dad's apartment. So it's like, your name ain't on the lease. His name is on the lease.
You got to go.
And what do? You like, but how did you feel about the sexual allegations? Did you know, like I knew, that it wasn't? I had a feeling
pretty much just because of where they were at. And I you know, it just, I'm one of those people, I have discernment, and the story just did not sound right. And what I hated was the media was so quick to put these boys' faces and their names and their family relations and everything else in the newspaper, on TV, on the news. I mean, they were so quick to do that. And then when it turned out the girl had lied on both of them.
lied, not just on
There
them
was no
two,
retraction.
but on
all
her
of
son, on Ricky, and on it was like she said 3 men had took advantage of her, and I was just looking at the story. There was like there was witnesses saying they didn't do it,
Right.
but the police didn't listen to nothing. And we all know that that's how it normally goes. The police, the detectives, they listen to the woman and they take their story at face value. Basically, it's kind of like, you're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty, but when it comes to stuff like that.
But, you got to put yourself in her position too, or her, if it was true about her, you would want them to take your story at face value too until the facts came out. But
and believe you, yeah.
But she lied. And then when dude said he went to the convenience store.
I was like, oh, you talk about how you control.
No,
you talk about control.
Girl,
go ahead.
So much better.
Go ahead. I would have. Go ahead.
He pulls up to the convenience store to get some cigarettes. Walks in.
And it's her.
And he didn't even recognize her. That's how.
Because they didn't. Because nothing happened.
She goes, "Aren't you Darcell or Rell?" And he said, "Yeah." She was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry for lying on you and getting you in trouble. I didn't want to get in trouble with my dad." And
then she talking about I was under the influence. I was in a dark place. I was in a bad place. I was
like, what the hell that got to do with me?
Right. She said I was abusing drugs at the time and all this. And she just was up there like, "I'm sorry that I lied on you guys because I don't know. I wasn't there. I was in a dark place." And
I would assume.
You know what?
For defamation of character.
I would have too. But what he did was, and you could tell their growth. You could tell Darcell's growth at that point in time, because he was like, he just walked out. He just walked out because some guy would have started cursing her out, calling her all kind of names, probably would have had a drum crying account, but he had to think, okay, I just got off of this charge.
And I'm in
assault charge.
I'm
in this rinky-dink town. They got 2% black people, 2%. My brother then already had the cops calling him because they thought he was breaking into a house instead of delivering furniture. So, you sometimes you just gotta chop it up and just walk away. And that's what he was like Chris Brown, chucking up the beaches. Chucking them up. But anywho, you guys, if y'all have not watched this documentary, we did a review and commentary on it, but we did not go over every single thing that happened. I mean, it was a lot.
We went over a lot, but it was a lot in that documentary.
Yes,
but we went over most of the highlights, and I think if you watch it for yourself now, knowing, going in kind of knowing what's going to happen, I think that you will get a better understanding of these young men, of life here in North Omaha.
Yes.
Because there's a difference between Omaha
and if y'all ain't saw my shirt, hold up, I got my shirt on.
Proud to be from North Omaha.
Proud to be from North Omaha. Yep, I got my shirt on.
Shout out.
Again, if you have Stars on demand, you can watch it on Stars on demand.
Or you can get Stars for free for like 7 days.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
On your phone, the app.
Oh, yeah.
Watch it there.
The homie hookup. That's what you call it, a homie hookup. The Caramel Diva homie hookup. But yes,
I got all kind of stuff for y'all.
Ross says that Miss Caramel Diva, I'm excited to see you on the hood table with Tanya.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ross.
We're going to have some fun, believe me.
Yes. Thank you. I appreciate that.